Hey, what's up YouTube? It's abluegolfball today with another Pokemon TCG Online video, and today, as promised, we have a Primal Kyogre EX deck, followed by the Primal Groudon deck. So, I'm excited to showcase this deck. We got Primal Kyogre EX doing Tidal Storm for 150, and you get to move 2 energy from this Pokemon to a bench Pokemon, which is pretty good. It's 2 energy, so it's not specific, meaning if you, I guess if you had a like a DCE, you can move that too. I don't know. But, you know, the nice thing about this is that if you're facing against a Mewtwo or an Yveltal, you're moving 2 energy. So that reduces your opponent's Yveltal or Mewtwo's attack by 40, which is pretty good. But what we really want to do is we want to get knockouts. So it does hit 32 each of our opponent's EX Pokemon. But if our opponent's not playing any EXs on the bench, then that's not that great. So we're going to see if we can pull off a 170 with a muscle band. But I'll show you what kind of tricks we got up our sleeves. But anyways, we do have the Kyogre EX here. Water Pulse, meh. Giant Whirlpool, okay. You know, it's okay. It's not terrible. But once again, this is a pretty heavy attack cost here. We're not running Blastoise. I might do that in the future with Deluge, but for now we're not going to do that. We will be playing Keldeo for the Russian Retreat. Secret Sword, still a decent attack, and it's not too bad. But we do have Mewtwo EX with X-Ball. We're playing Mewtwo with X-Ball because why not, right? It's a different type weakness. The problem is Keldeo and Kyogre, Primal Kyogre EX are all grass weak. And so is Seismitoad, which I guess I can talk about right now. Quaking Punch does 30 damage, and you guys know this, what this does. But we want to play it just to slow the game down, and slow it down enough so that we can power up Primal Kyogre EX. But if you didn't see, I do play 1 Kyurem from the Plasma Blast set with Outrage. This is also another different type weakness, and it's a water type, so Outrage can buy us a couple turns, potentially, right? I don't want to be fighting, battling against Genesect DX and Virizion, and just getting hit one-hit knockouts because, Primal Kyogre EX is weak against grass. But then if we get Kyurem here, Kyurem EX is weak against Metal type, which Outrage can be pretty helpful if we get hit by a turn 2 Emerald Slash from a Virizion EX. We can just Outrage for, a ton of damage. And that goes the same for Mewtwo EX. Helps very well with X-Ball. So, but we do have 2 Seismitoad, as mentioned before, just to slow the game down for us a little bit, and that way we can buy a couple turns to potentially power up our Primal Kyogre EX. Now, we do have Suicune with Safeguard. Once again, the game's going to be slow, right? If we're going to be running Primal Kyogre EX, it's going to be slow, so we need Suicune here just for Safeguard, and we can help us to prevent damage by us a couple turns. As for items and whatnot, we will have Dive Ball since we're running a lot of water Pokemon. Just straight up search for a water Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards. Pretty smooth, pretty easy. I like this card for water decks. Now we do have Professor's Letter, and we got Scramble Switch as the aspect of choice. Very handy. It allows us to be very fluid with the deck and move energy around, especially move it to Primal Kyogre if need be. And yeah, it just works really well. We can rush in with Keldeo, and then we can use Scramble Switch, right, and move the energy right back to Primal Kyogre EX. So that works very well there too. Got 1 star on the Megaphone, 2 switches, 2 Tools Retriever. So this is what we're going to use to get rid of the Spirit Link from Primal Kyogre EX, and then remove it, and then play a Muscle Band. That's how we're going to try to hit for 170, being able to knock out a ton of different various Pokemon EXs out there. We're going to run 1 Ultra Ball just for Mewtwo EX, but it could be useful. That way we can just discard cards that we don't need, and then if we have an N, we'll shuffle our hand back to our deck and not draw those cards anymore. So pretty good for that. 2 VS Seekers, and then and for our supporters, we're going to have 1 Archie's Ace in the Hole. We probably could play more, but 1 is good enough. This card is kind of hard to pull off. I play tested a little bit, and every time I draw into it, it's just like, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to discard more cards in my from my hand and have just Archie's Ace in the Hole in my hand. So we're gonna have 1 Colress, 2 Lysanders, 1 Lysander's trump card, 3 ends, and then the Professor Birch's observation is replacing the last end. So we're not going to run 4 ends because we're going to be playing 1 Professor Birch's observation. It's going to be interesting. I don't know if it's going to be that great, but you know, we're still testing it to see how good it is in this format. And we're going to have 4 Professor Juniper, pretty standard, 1 Skyla. And then Teammates is a new addition to my deck lines. I want to add Teammates as much, you know, at least 1 in a deck. It's pretty convenient if you play it at the right time, right? So it doesn't really work when your Pokemon gets knocked out by poison damage. But, you know, if you have it and your Pokemon gets knocked out, hey, why not play it? It's pretty good, very advantageous. For the stadium, we're going to have Rough Seas, just 2 of these, just to heal 30 damage. Very convenient there. 2 Full Stones, mostly for Keldeo. 2 Kyogre Spirit Links, just to not Mega Evolve, but Primal Evolve. Primal Reversion, really. 3 Muscle Band, and that round out the deck. We do have the 4 DCEs, mostly for Mewtwo, Seismitoad, and Kyurem, and then the 9 Water Energies. Let's go ahead and have a battle going on here in Pokemon TCG Online. And let's hope for an epic battle. I don't know. I don't want to run into any Genesects, that's for sure. Alright, and as we search, yeah, like I said, hopefully we don't run into any grass-type decks. Even the non-EX grass types, things like, oh gosh, you know, even like, actually, I can't think of any, I can't think of any non-EX basic, I guess, you know, Virizion, non-EX Virizion could be pretty deadly, but, anyways, here we go. We flipped our heads, and we got to go first. Couldn't draw a Pokemon. My opponent is playing Pyroar, and couldn't draw a Pokemon either. So, once again, can't draw a Pokemon. The only way we can win this battle is to play Kyogre and be able to evolve into Primal Kyogre EX. But, here we go. We're going to have the Seismitoad here. I don't want to play Mewtwo. I don't want to play Kyurem. I do want to play the Kyogre EX here. But the only reason why I might want to play these 2 is so that I don't draw into them again. And it changes the ratio in my deck. If I was to, you know, draw them again. So what I want to do, since I can't attack, I actually want to play an energy here. And, yeah, probably end the turn. I actually want to play a Muscle Band on the Seismitoad rather than a Float Stone. So we're just going to go ahead. We're going to end. And, oh, darn it. We did get the Kyogre here, but otherwise we did get the DCE, so we can play that next turn. We didn't get the Muscle Band. As long as my opponent does not end us, we have a shot at slowing my opponent down. And oh no, we got a Head Ringer. We do get the Tool Retriever, so we can play that. And that comes in very conveniently for us. Thank goodness for Tool Retriever. So let's go ahead, we'll get rid of that and confirm our choice. We will play this here and just go for a Quaking Punch. My opponent can evolve this turn, but nonetheless, he won't be able to play any more item cards. So that would save us some trouble dealing with Head Ringer, at least for a little bit longer. Unless my opponent can knock us out in 2 hits. Oh, he has. Oh, that is inconvenient, that's for sure. Too bad we don't have Keldeo out here to do the Russian and retreat. The Kyogre here is a 4 retreat cost. 4 retreat cost. Wow. I'm just going to play the energy here and end the turn. My opponent can definitely play his tool cards again, so we could see some more Head Ringers. Man, that Lysander was quite the headache. Now both of us are going pretty slow. Man, I just can't seem to be able to draw my Keldeo to Russian, and then I can play the DCE to retreat. But yeah, I could have played the energy here. I think that would have been a good choice. But I'm hoping to draw into a Keldeo or a the dive ball, or even a ultra ball. You know, I got one of those. So We do have the switch, so we'll play that. I'm glad that we were able to draw into the switch. I guess we can play that here and now, and just kind of knock out this Lit Leo. Get the prize here. There's the floatstone. Man, a little too late now, but it's alright. We've locked our opponent from playing item cards. I'd like to see the Primal Kyogre here. We get the Lysander. Doesn't matter. We'll win this match here. We do get hit with 50 damage, but doesn't matter. We'll go ahead and we'll heal that off. We'll get this here. We'll retreat into this guy. I actually want to see if I can Mega Evolve, but I cannot. So, or Primal Evolve. We'll just do this and take the win. Able to pull off a huge attack. I mean, hey, what was that? The stats, 320 damage. That's pretty fun. That was not satisfying. I'm gonna go ahead and play one more match. Why not? So let's see if we can run into. Actually, I wouldn't mind running into a Virizion Genesect deck. I just want to see if we can manage a win from that. But here we go. Let's go with the heads. And hope to go first, but no, we don't. My opponent gets to choose if he wants to go first, and yes, indeed, he does. We see here a looks like it's gonna be a Night March deck. I'm not sure. We do get to start with a Seismitoad, so that's pretty good. It's a good start for us. And bummer, we get a Primal Kyogre X. Not quite what we're looking for. Never mind, we see here a Zubat, so I'm expecting to see a Wobbuffet at some point. The only trouble we'll have with Wobbuffet is probably with Keldeo not being able to rush in. Otherwise, we don't really use any, you know, oh no, we see an N. Like I said, we don't really use, any, man, I can't think of the word, right, abilities. Okay, so, I'm gonna go and just get rid of that. We'll play the Mewtwo here. I'm gonna go for the Keldeo. That's the way we can get the Russian retreat going and kind of just stick with that. I'm gonna go for the N. I really want to get a DCE off of this, but no, we don't get the DCE. We do get the Primal. We do get the Kyogre EX here, which we can play. Since we couldn't draw the DCE, I'm actually gonna opt to kind of just charge up the Kyogre here. And end my turn. I'm gonna play another. Okay, so this is the tricky part. Do I want to play the energy in the next turn or not? So right now we could get hit by a Zubat, a Golbat, hitting us for 20 damage with the ability, and then another 20 damage from the Sneaky Bite. Oh boy! Actually, Sneaky Bite hits us and then hits the bench. The entire bench, the entirety of my bench would get hit for 10. That's pretty troublesome. But alright, so what do we got here? We have a bunch of Zubats, and here's the Golbat. Alright, definitely I want to be able to have a shot at drawing into a DCE. So my opponent here is actually targeting the Seismitoad over targeting the Kyogre. So getting hit with 10 everywhere, that is a bummer. Since we will be discarding everything, I might as well Mega Evolve, or Primal Evolve, that's what I meant right now. Right, so here we go. There he is, the Primal Kyogre, not losing our turn. And no, we don't. We don't even get the, oh, are you kidding me? Alright, well, at least we, well, I mean, you can always go for another. Man, if I was to invest into the Seismitoad, I probably would have been able to attack by now. Alright. Yes, we'll drop another one. And we'll go ahead, heal from everybody. That's pretty slick. And we will end our turn. Bummer. I'm actually going to see if I'm going to play the Skyla, and I'm going to go and see if we have the DCE available to us. So the only Pokemon here taking hits is Mewtwo. We can always heal with our Stadium card here. Look at that. Beautiful. We even have a switch that we'll probably not use. What I really need here is the computer search, but we don't have it. And it's a bummer. But I'm going to go for the Professor's Letter. Yeah, let's go with that. We'll do the rush in, the retreat. Alright, here we go. Let's drop the energy. Yes, let's drop another one. Rush in, retreat. Can't hit the bench, but we'll move these energies probably onto the Seismitoad. That way we can just Quaking Punch. And what? There's the DCE. How inconvenient is that? Alright. So, if anything, I can play the DC onto the Primal Kyogre EX and just move that away. Let's go with the Professor Birch. If we flip tails, I don't mind. We even get this here, so that's pretty slick. Let's go ahead and Tidal Storm once again. Let's move the DCE and let's move the energy. Sure, and we'll confirm our choice. Let's move that too, I guess. Moving it to the yeah, this one's not too bad of an idea. That way we can just keep rushing in and retreating. If we can get another one out, I think that'll be very slick. But alright, so here we go. We do get a scramble switch, so just like I said, let's go ahead. We will scramble switch. I'm going to retreat into the Seismitoad, and then I'm going to scramble switch into the Primal. See how smooth that was, right? Do you see that? You know, this is pretty good. This is good stuff. This is good stuff right here. And I'm just gonna go ahead. We'll attack. And once again, I guess we can move the energy onto the Seismitoad, taking the victory. See how smooth that was? If that was in you know, a different match or whatever, it pulls off, and it's pretty slick. I think it's pretty slick with the scramble switch, being able to rush and retreat. So if you can pull it off, I think it's pretty awesome. So, there we go, my friends. That was Primal Kyogre EX. We were able to see him in action. He is the MVP, hitting for 150 damage. Boy, oh boy, was that a ton of fun. So let me know in the comments below what do you guys think. Yeah, if you guys have any more deck ideas, shoot them at me, and I'll see too if I can build them for you. Otherwise, I'll have some more Pokemon for you guys soon, and you guys have a good day. I'll talk to you guys later. I'll see you guys later. All right, bye.